Hi, everybody. I am Brooke Warner, and this is a little series that I'm doing for She Writes Press authors and prospective authors. I am the publisher of She Writes Press, and this video is about publicity and what should you be thinking about when you hire a publicist. So right out the gate, we have recommended publicists in our author handbook. So I do recommend starting there. We're always open to authors bringing us publicists that they're excited about, in which case we would love to have a conversation with them, make sure that they are approaching hybrid publishing the same way that we think about hybrid publishing. So that's important just to make sure that we have a meeting of the hearts and the minds. I will say that we recommend hiring a publicist, but it's not absolutely essential in the sense that in order to publish with us, you do not have to hire a publicist. The reason that we recommend it is because the way that we think about publicity pushing your visibility and information about your book into the marketplace kind of goes hand in hand with distribution. And so the fact that we have this meaningful distribution with Simon and Schuster means that we and Simon and Schuster are actively pushing your book into the marketplace. And so when that happens, it's very helpful if there's marketing and publicity efforts meeting that meaningful distribution so that we can actually move books. And so part of this series, there's lots of videos, but one of them is about returns. And the fact of book returns, like I said, is like the thing that authors most hate about book publishing, and me too. But you will reduce your number of returns when you have a meaningful publicity campaign. And so this is why it's a helpful effort if we're going to be pushing a lot of books out into the marketplace to be met with publicity efforts. Now, when it comes to the cost of publicity, this is always something that I say to authors. Or I should say, I personally never want authors to spend more than they're comfortable with. And so it is really important to sit down with your budget and to figure out what kind of publicity expense you're willing to take on. Publicity is a really wide range. On the low end, our authors are spending $5,000 to $7,500, and that could be for a small campaign or a marketing campaign. On the high end, authors are spending sometimes upwards of $30,000, which is a lot, but sometimes those campaigns are lasting 6 to 8 months. And so it's quite important for you to understand the scope of your campaign, what you're wanting your publicist to do. It is about driving book sales, but it's also about visibility for you as an author. So again, I would say this is an area that you want to ask a lot of questions. You want to interview more than a few people. I think it's great to interview 2 to 4 publicists. The great thing about the She Writes Press space is that when you sign with us, not only do I talk about publicity a lot in the onboarding calls and other educational webinars that I do, you also have access to the sisterhood of authors that is out there more than happy to answer your questions about their experiences with the publicists that they hired, what worked, what didn't. We want you to be proactive and engaged around your publicity. And we also want you to start early. So we do recommend that you start to have these informational interviews with publicists anywhere from 8 months to a year in advance of your pub date. So publicity is a big consideration, both in terms of who, in terms of when you will hire them, and in terms of how much money you will spend for publicity. So this is an ongoing conversation. Just want to plant the seed now of what you might be thinking about, the timing of when you might be thinking about it, and how much money it might look like for you. And it's going to vary person to person in terms of comfort and stretch and what you hope to get out of it. So I am here for ongoing questions on this front, and certainly just want to say, start thinking about it, hire early, and that will give you the absolute best possible result.